You guys want a good memory? I got one for you. Red vs. Blue Revelation is yet another iconic season in the show. Where Reconstruction had a focus on storytelling and Recreation leaned more to the comedic side, Revelation devoted itself to pure spectacle, resulting in a truly groundbreaking season. It's time to dive headfirst into Revelation.
Come in, command. Come in, command. This is Medical Officer Dufresne.
We open at Valhalla in the aftermath of the Recreation finale. You know, when Donut got shot. I only drew a frowny face for this. I wonder why. We reunite with Doc as he confirms that Donut is dead before...
It's not my fault, Doc. I had to make the call. They made me. They needed someone with medical training.
What are you talking about?
I didn't mean for you to get involved. I'm sorry, really.
Sorry about what? Uh-oh.
He's sorry about us.
Uh-oh. Not a bad way to start off a season. Returning to Sandtrap, Epsilon is entertaining the aliens when he gets a vision of Tex? Since Tex is an AI and was erased in the EMP from Reconstruction, she can't come back, right? Well, she might be able to. Since Epsilon contains all the fragments, he might contain Tex as well. Meanwhile, Doc is forced by Wash, now trying his hardest to be an intimidating villain, to analyze the meta, who keeps attempting to use his equipment despite the lack of an assistance by AI. They receive a call from Sarge and Simmons is forced to answer, and somehow, against all expectations...
Simmons sounded good. I guess he's got everything under control.
Donut and Lopez are dead and someone is taking Simmons prisoner.
What? Everything sounded fine to me.
Think about it. How do you answer the radio at our base?
Thank you for calling Red Base. This is Private Griff. I may assist you today.
And we've drilled that since day one. Simmons answered hi. That was my first clue.
So maybe he's just
He also said the radio was in disrepair. When has Lopez ever let something go without the proper maintenance?
Never.
And look at the time.
Can't. Clock's broken.
It's 17:30. And everybody knows that 17:30 is...
Donut's daily wine and cheese hour.
I didn't hear any tinkling glasses. Did you?
You're right.
He also mentioned that the weather was rainier. And as we all know, Mount Rainier is the biggest landmass in the state of... Washington.
We do? We do.
How many Washingtons do we know?
Did he mean Agent Washington?
And who's the biggest mass we know associated with Washington?
The Meta.
So the Meta and Washington have teamed up to kill Donut and Lopez, and now they're holding Simmons and Doc prisoner.
We have to help him. Wait, Doc? How do you know he's there?
Please, Griff, it's so obvious. I don't want to insult your intelligence by explaining every little detail.
Oh, okay.
Go on. We're going to Valhalla.
Sarge is able to deduce that Simmons is in trouble. Him and Griff head to Valhalla, with Church following them, hoping to find some connection to Tex. This leaves Tucker and Caboose to deal with the aliens. At Valhalla, Sarge shows up alone, and Wash leaves Doc and Simmons with the Meta to go deal with them. Sarge is captured, but something's up. Link's face.
Now march.
Son, you can insult me. You can ambush me. You can even take away my weapons. But if you think I'm going to sit one single pinky toe inside a blue base without my shotgun, you must not know who you're dealing with.
I said move.
And I said, shotgun.
Yes. I have your shotgun.
No, I mean, shotgun.
What is this? You think I'm going to give you your shotgun because you asked?
I said, shotgun. Shotgun, damn it.
Oh, yeah, shotgun. That's what you... What? Wait. What are you up to? What is that noise? Do I hear a...
Oh my God!
Yeah, you saw that right. Griff crashes the Warthog through the wall, breaking a barrier that was set by the limitations of machinima. Wash is just as surprised as you are. Seeing fully original animated sequences was what put this season on the map. This is the debut of Monty Ohm. This guy created some of the greatest set pieces I've ever seen in this show before moving on to create his own. I had no problem with them creating original animation, and that's due to Monty's talent. His contribution to the show won't be forgotten anytime soon. After Wash is knocked out of the fight, the Meta attempts to deal with Simmons and Doc, but Simmons overcharges Doc's medic gun thing and overloads the Meta's time distortion unit, slowing him down. Of course, Doc manages to get himself thrown into a wall by someone moving slower than Griff after lunch hour, and Simmons is forced to abandon him. He is rescued by Sarge and Griff, but the Meta completely wrecks their Jeep in style.
Hold on, but I'm scared to let go! Look out!
But Epsilon shows up and distracts the Meta, so the four can escape. Wash heads after him, but...
Get them, Meta! Get them!
Washington!
What? No! Open it up!
Church remembers him. He passes out and they make their way back to Sandtrap. Wash and the Meta try to get Doc out of the wall, but to no avail. When the Reds arrive at Sandtrap, Epsilon wakes up and they are greeted by Delta, who warns them that Church is searching through his memories, and since there's a lot of torture in them, that really isn't the best idea. He also warns them that Church is searching for one thing in particular, and for some reason that's a bad thing. Church wakes up and recruits Caboose to help him find something, and the two head off towards a freelancer storage facility with the Reds and Tucker tailing them. Wash, Meta, and Doc arrive at Sandtrap, but find nothing but a dead end and some aliens. The interactions between Wash, Doc, and the Meta is hilarious due mostly to its absurdity. Mostly it's just funny to see Wash try his hardest to be an intimidating villain, but that's pretty hard when you're dragging a guy stuck in a slab of rock around.
I found the signal. You dig. We all have to pull our own weight. Right. And other people's weight, too. Just dig.
Also, the Meta briefly becomes Chewbacca. I can live with that. Church and Caboose make it to the storage facility and come across a computer program named Phyllis, who sounds an awful lot like Sheila. They enter and come across a room full of spare church bodies, but that's not what Epsilon is looking for. The Reds show up and find Caboose standing outside a room where we hear a lot of racket. He wisely exits, leaving the Reds to find...
Door's open.
What the?
Okay. So who's first?
Tex. It's so good to see you. I have so many questions. I need to find out how you...
Run!
I can wait. This is one of the most beloved fight scenes in the show, and for good reason. We'd always heard how tough Tex was, and now we finally get to see it in all its animated glory. She tosses the Reds and Tucker around the map like nothing, and pulls off some of the greatest stunts in the show. Sure, it doesn't add much to the story, and there's no real reason for it, but shut up, it's awesome.
Huh? Oh god, not like this.
Oh my god.
I thought I was...
Church shows up, finally in a body of his own, and Tex beats him up with a monitor. Eventually, Caboose activates a thing called Armor Lock that freezes Tex as well as the Reds and Blues. The Armor Lock thing makes no sense and comes out of nowhere and will only be here for one purpose, which you can probably guess what that will be. Eventually, Church gets Tex to calm down, for the most part. Here, things start to slow down. We have about 40 minutes in the storage facility. It's not bad, just slow, with a few things that could be considered filler. The Reds take this opportunity to reinstall the Blues in command, and Church and Tex attempt to learn more about Project Freelancer.
Hey, why don't you play one of the entries for me?
Certainly.
The counselor's insistence on referring to Agent Texas as a byproduct continues to frustrate me. We have seen
Sheila,
our
I
share
want you to
of
transfer all these files to me.
fragments.
Understood.
She is certainly not
Transferring
one of
now.
And do me a favor.
these. She's something
Delete
else
the rest.
entirely.
Deleting entries.
Meanwhile, our villains find the Epsilon unit, which they convert into a capture device to trap Epsilon when they find him. If they ever find him.
Can we track them?
Track them.
You know, pick up a trail like footprints.
Footprints. In the desert.
Don't special agents have the ability to track their targets through any kind of terrain? Follow broken tree branches?
Tree branches. In the desert.
Tex decides to leave to try and find the director, who I guess isn't in jail or something, to make him pay. Church decides to go with her, leaving the Reds and Blues back at the storage facility. But after the Reds reinstall the Blues, they find something interesting. The Reds find out that the whole Red and Blue war is indeed fake. It's instead a training simulator for freelancers to practice, staffed with low-level operatives. So a lot of things in Blood Gulch aren't real, meaning that the time travel really didn't happen. Okay, let's talk about that. What the hell happened when the bomb went off then? Huh? How did they end up in the ruins rather than back at Sidewinder? What about Church? Did he travel through time? What happened? Time travel still sucks. But wow, the Red and Blue War's fake, and they're just practice for Project Freelancer. What a shocking revelation. Or not.
We use your outpost as testing grounds. Practice. You never noticed that you didn't have anything to do unless a freelancer showed up? Or you made a call to command?
Oddly enough, I've never heard this mentioned before, but it always stood out to me. Why did they reveal this before? Wouldn't it have made more sense to not spoil it before the final chapter? I mean, it's fine if you want to subtly hint at it. Blood Gulch did that a bunch, but spelling it out for us... I mean, why are the Reds even surprised? Here, I can fix this right now.
You still don't get it, do you? You think you're real soldiers? You're not. You guys are nothing.
Whatever. Your face is nothing.
You three go assess the vehicles. See if you can find some trail of the meta while you're at it.
Ooh, finally a take charge leader. I like it.
Shut up.
See? Isn't that better? Ignoring my problems with it, this still is a great moment. Sarge is completely crushed by the realization that everything he's devoted his life to has been a lie.
You're just upset, sir.
Don't call me that.
What? Call you what?
Sir, from now on, you call me by my name. Sarge. Arrest dog. I'm not in charge anymore. I quit.
You what? Uh-oh. I get the feeling somebody else's world just got rocked.
Meanwhile, Tex and Church go to Sidewinder, which is revealed to be the site of the Freelancer break-in, and Tex is revealed to have been the leader who wanted to free Alpha, but when she got there, it was too late. The Alpha had been broken, and now she wants to make the director pay. But they still don't know where he...
Tex?
Oh. Tex activates Church's recovery beacon, putting it lightly, which attracts Wash and the Meta so Tex can interrogate them about the whereabouts of the director. Putting it lightly. Caboose also gets the recovery beacon and begs the Reds and Tucker to help him. Griff and Simmons refuse, but Sarge, well, I'll just show you.
Let me ask you two a question. You ever wonder why we're here?
It does seem to be one of life's great mysteries.
No, I mean you! What are you doing here? You always act like you want to quit, but hell, you could have left whenever you wanted. No one would have stopped you. So why are you here? And you, Simmons.
Me?
You say you want to be in charge. They would have given you your own squad a dozen times over. You know it, and I know it. But you're still here. And you, Tucker, as much as I hate to admit it, you're actually good at being a soldier.
I am?
I know you like to make your rude comments and pretend like it all doesn't matter. But an entire alien race chose you to be their hero. So why are you here? And Caboose? It's good to see you.
Thanks. I'm really enjoying the speech so far.
Maybe you're all here because this is the only place you fit in. Maybe you're here because you don't have anywhere else to go. Maybe you're all here because deep down, you want to be here. The reason doesn't matter. What matters is that you're here. For all we know, Tex and Church are dead. That means we're the only ones who know what's happened. The only ones who can prevent them from covering it up. So the way I figure it, these freelancer guys want to use us, take us away from our families, and send us all over the dadgum galaxy just to test if their agents are ready for the big fight? Well, I guess I'm interested in showing them exactly what a big fight is all about. Time to clean a slate. So I'm not ordering you to go. I ain't even asking. You do what you gotta do, Private Griff.
I'll go get my car keys.
This speech is another fan favorite moment. It's the first time the Reds and Blues try to help someone of their own free will. This season, aside from the spectacle, focuses a lot on character growth. That's yet another reason I love this season. But before we go further, I want to talk about Red Team, because I love Red Team. Sure, they don't always do much to further the story, but unlike the Blues, Red Team actually feels like a team. Blue Team's roster is constantly shifting, people are dying, disappearing, and even joining. But with Red Team, even if Dona and Lopez aren't always around, it's always consistent. Sarge, Griff, and Simmons are pretty much inseparable. Yeah, they do nothing but talk, but that's what builds the character relationships. So, you know what? I love Red Team. Sarge's speech convinces the Reds and Tucker to help, and they fly towards Sidewinder and a Pelican. Wash, Doc, and Meta arrive and are blown up. Tex then attacks them, and a fight for Freelancer begins. This fight is one of my favorites. The Tex fight is fantastic, but this has the tension. The last three Freelancers are fighting for freedom, power, and revenge. And then the cliff starts falling apart. Speaking of which, the music is amazing. Jeff Williams debuted here, composing the soundtrack for Revelation, and the song Ice Fight is awesome. The fight ends when the Meta captures Tex in the Epsilon unit, in one of the most brutal and horrifying moments in the show. Wash tries to get Church to come with them, but the Meta has other plans. With a new AI, the Meta is back at power. Things look bad for Wash, but thankfully, the Reds and Blues come crashing in.
I would say that was the cavalry, but I've never seen a line of horses crash into the battlefield from outer space before.
Church wants Wash to get Tex out, but the unit is damaged and getting her out might not be an option. But Church can get in. Wash doesn't want to lose Epsilon since his party is on the line, but Church reveals what Tex really is.
She's here because of us.
Because of me?
Not you, us, me, and Alpha, and the director.
You've started to remember.
I found some journals from the director. She's someone from his life. Someone he loved.
Allison. Her name was Allison.
Allison. When they made Alpha, she came back. She was a byproduct of the process.
She's just a shadow.
Don't call her that. She died in her real life, and that's all the director ever remembered of her. So now, no matter how tough she is, no matter how hard she fights, she's always going to fail, because that's what she's based on. No matter what she's doing, or what she's trying to accomplish, just when her goal is within her reach, it gets yanked away. Every single time. Can you imagine what that's like?
I think I'm getting the idea. It's over.
How did they do this? They couldn't have been planning it all along, but it works so well. When you think about it, Tex really never managed to win anything, despite her strength. It always makes me wonder what point in the series did the writers come up with all this stuff? Because it works almost too well. Oh no. The Meta injures Wash and Church, so the Reds and Tucker have no other choice. It's time for the showdown to begin. This fight is rather short, but amazing nonetheless. The Reds and Tucker don't exactly fight like freelancers, they fight like the idiots they always were. But now they're working together. And together they actually managed to get some hits on the Meta. It's great to see characters who previously couldn't walk 5 feet without getting blown up hold their own against one of the strongest characters in the show. Unfortunately, it's still not enough, but Sarge has an idea.
Come here, you big son of a bitch!
What's he doing?
Killing himself.
Oh no!
Hey, Griff! I've lost my shotgun! What am I gonna do without my shotgun? Shotgun, damn it!
Shotgun? Come on, Simmons.
Hey, Meta! Settle a bet, would you? Does that thing kinda look like a big cat to you?
Come on, boys, Muerte! Grab! Dylan, grab my hand! Help!
Hold on, don't let go.
What I love so much about this scene is that it's the Reds. The Reds were able to outsmart the meta. They were able to beat him. Why? Because all they ever do is stand around and talk. By the way, Griff is still alive. All is not well, however, as the memory unit is failing, with Tex still inside, and Church has no other choice than to go in there himself. With that, he says goodbye to Caboose.
Caboose, here, pick it up.
I can't, Church.
Yes, you can. You do this all the time.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, okay, Caboose. I'm sure I can do it on my own.
But what if you don't come out again?
Well, you know what Delta always said, right?
Memory is the key.
If I don't come back, then you're in charge of remembering me, okay? Don't let Tucker help. He'll just fuck it up. Bye, buddy.
What's going on here?
Church went in. He's going to find her.
That unit looks bad. Let me see what I can do to stabilize it.
Doc, go check on Wash. I don't think he's gonna make it.
Oh no!
What?
It's only going to be open for a few more seconds. After that, he'll be trapped.
Come on, Church. You can do it. Can you hear me? You can... Right towards my voice!
It's shutting down. I can't stop it.
Church? Are you there?
Caboose, I'm sorry.
Church?
And I only drew a crying face for this one. And that's that. The unit shuts down, the UNSC shows up to clean up, and the Reds and Blues prepare to head back to their training bases. There's a lot of little things I like about this scene that really brings the trilogy full circle. The mirror of the opening of Raid Construction, the UNSC actually complimenting the Reds and Blues for winning the fight, and of course, we have a new member of Blue Team.
Yeah, it's too bad. Well, be sure to let him know we're sorry.
Whatever, you're free to go. If we need you, we know where to find you.
Why are you guys helping me?
You'll help us, Wash.
That only makes sense.
Yeah, plus we need to even the teams. And I couldn't put up with Caboose constantly asking, can we keep him? Can we keep him?
For whatever it's worth, thanks.
But as we end this season, we journey into the memory unit and get one final ending monologue.
I don't know why the director did what he did. I don't know if he was trying to revive a memory from his past, or if he was just trying to get it out of his head. But I figured out something that the director didn't. It took Alpha, Delta, and all the rest to help piece it together for me, but what I've learned is that a great love is a lot like a good memory.
Unlike the monologue in Reconstruction, which was filled with remorse, or Wash's in Recreation, which was fueled by anger, Church's monologue is filled with hope. He has decided to wait for Tex in the only place he can, Blood Gulch.
Hey, Church, come on. I think the Reds got a new vehicle. Let's check it out.
They only got a Jeep. We got a tank. That's way better.
Okay, I'll be right there. And I mean, hell, if you have to live the rest of your life in a memory, you might as well make it a good one.
And that is how we end the Recollection trilogy. Where Season 5 left me somewhat unsatisfied, Revelation is an emotionally fulfilling, exciting, and powerful ending to a fantastic trilogy. The Recollection arc in my eyes not only serves as an amazing continuation to a show we all know and love, but is a fantastic trilogy in its own right. Revelation once again redefined the show and brought it to new heights that it had never achieved. Even though Monty may not be here right now, with work like this, we don't have to say goodbye just yet. And the show doesn't end here. We still have a lot more to go. And I'm ready. Join me next time for Red vs. Blue, Season 9.